All right. So you see, even though I'm talking to you, I see that now I'm talking to you. That's what I'm talking about. A little delay. Hi there, everyone. This is the evening drive home with NJ Evans, and I'm NJ Evans. And I wanted to have a talk with you this evening about interviews and my theory on interviews. But before I talk about that, I just wanted to say this to you. I had a guest that I invited to come to the mic this evening. She doesn't live in the country, so consequently, I didn't want to really chance the idea that I would consistently have internet access or internet service. And being how dark it looks outside, and the wind and the rain, and it's not heavy rain, it's just a lot of wind and rain and dust and dust. But anyhow, welcome to the Southwest. Welcome to our monsoon. And welcome to our mini with two rainbows dust storm. As I said a minute ago, I didn't know how long this particular event was going to take place. I'm talking about weather-wise, because sometimes it's very short, and then other times it can be long. But my main concern was being impacted by the internet, as I stated before. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what this event was going to be about this evening. And it was talking about interviews and interviewing techniques and skills. And I came across something, and this is a theory, just a theory, that you can go all the way across the board with interviews. But did anyone ever show you or tell you how to interview? And I don't recall that in my journey in life. And I was wondering if you recall that in your journey. And leave a comment on YouTube and let me know what you think about that thought there. Did anybody show you, tell you how to interview? Because I went to private schools, and even going to private schools, we didn't get that little part of the game. So I wondered, why do people expect you to know how to interview when you become older? So we'll go in depth as far as that's concerned with this person that I invited to come to the mic this evening. And she's an entrepreneur. She's really, really a very nice person. And she's also successful in what it is that she does and has done over the years. And she's an individual who actually started her own business right after college and kept on trucking. She's done quite well for herself, and I'm very, very proud of her. So, without any further ado, I'm just going to carry this a little bit further, and then I'm going to bring this to an end. And we're going to continue this again, if not tomorrow, definitely by Monday. I got to see if she's available tomorrow. I have somebody else that's going to be in on next week on Friday, and I will introduce you to that person as well. As I stated before, if you have any thoughts about did anyone show or tell you how to interview when you were coming up, I would love to hear what was shown to you and how it was shown to you. Now, let me use myself as an example. When I was younger, my family was very large. My external family was extremely large. And I was a little hustler. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, at the age of, I would say, 7, 8, 9. Now, I'm in school at this point. 8, I was in the fourth grade, okay? 7, 8, 9. I had developed this ability to just like money. But the way my family operated, you have constraints. You don't just go crazy. You had constraints. And I remember I had this very, very handsome second cousin. And these young ladies used to drive up in their T-Birds. And I remember one day, this young lady drove up and she left a message for my cousin, but she called him by his first name. We have a family name also for him. And she didn't use the family name, she used his real name. So, anyway, so when he came in from work, because we all lived in the same area, if not the same building next door, blah, 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 blah. We were in Brownstones. So, anyhow, what happened was I saw him and I said, "Hey, guess what? You had a visitor." And he said, "Really? Who is it?" I said, "Well, this is what she looked like, and this is what her car looked like." I had never seen a convertible Thunderbird before, and she drove up in one. So He says, oh, that's such and such. And I said, yeah. And he says, wow, thank you very much. I said, wait. I have a question for you. He goes, what? I said, I put my hand out and I said, don't you want to give me $25 for that? 25 cents, 25 cents for that information. And he looked at me and he says, are you hustling me? I said, I would never do that. Never, never. So he says, okay, well then, if that be the case, then let me tell you what I want to know when you put your hand out like that for the money. You got to bring me the correct information. And then he gave me his who, what, when, where, why, and how. And I said, okay, because I'm interested now, this is money. In those days, 25 cents was a lot of money. Trust me. Some adults were buying packs of cigarettes for 25 cents. So I'm looking at it saying, that's all I have to do? He goes, yeah. He said, but you got to get the names right. Well, I just want you to know, maybe about 2 or 3 months of working for him, I found out that he had about 4 different girlfriends and 2 different names that he used. One was the family name, and one is his legal name. I would say, in a sense, I was taught how to observe through him. Now, of course, I was being paid for this, so I wanted to learn. Observe, what kind of person was she? Was she kind? Was she very rigid? And he was very clear about his questions. So I guess I just stored that away in the back of my mind and went on with my life. Now, I say that to you because I'm going to double back on this next week. And I'm going to say to you, has anybody come up with anything that they would like to share? You can either write it or you can leave it in the comments, or you can let me know if you're not interested, if you are interested in appearing on my podcast. So, just for this topic, because this is actually going to be a series, and I want to show how your preliminary introduction to all of the interviews, how you carry yourself interviewing, I believe was founded upon the information that you received between those early years, 0 to 9 and 9 to 12. That's when you started formulating in your own head how to talk to people. But it just wasn't written down. There was no roadmap. There wasn't anything like that, at least not from my perspective. But I do know that certain families will instill inside a child, speak correctly, look at the person eye to eye, and blah, 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 blah. But everybody didn't get that. And I think this is very important, especially for Generation Alpha, Generation Z, and for that matter, even baby boomers, because many years ago, I worked at the YWCA and I was a program coordinator. And guess what my subject matter was? Training adults how to interview, not take the test, how to interview. And I thought that was silly because I thought everybody knew how to interview. But after I sat there and I watched and I listened to their stories, because I always began with, well, who are you? And how much do you know about this? And I found out that there were a lot of people who were my age and older who had never worked before. Not a problem. Who had worked but didn't know that there was a certain protocol. And I said, this is how they keep you in the trenches. If you know how to perceive, if you know how to read the body language, if you know how to read the voice, if you have confidence within yourself, can you stand there speaking to somebody eyeball to eyeball? Or do you drop your head? How much confidence do you have? All these things, we're going to take them a little at a time and go through that so that you can have a foundation. If you know how to do this, I just want you to pass it on down to those grandchildren of yours or great-grandchildren of yours or even your children, because that's how they're going to miss out on this new world that's coming in here in terms of technology and the rest of that. I have a whole piece on the technology side of this that I'll introduce too as well. So anyway, without any further ado, I'm NJ Evans. Thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with me and letting me let you know the reason why my friend is not on this particular call at this time, and I don't even know how long this is going to last. Anyhow, is because I decided to cancel it out because we are actually in a monsoon season, which also means that we're in a dust storm. You have yourself a wonderful week. wonderful weekend. Lots of love and prosperity to you. And remember, to create the reality that you truly do desire, you have to watch what you say. You have to watch your thoughts when you're not saying anything with your mouth, but when you're thinking, because thoughts are things and they create your reality. So create the reality that you truly desire and not one that you don't. I look forward to speaking with you or seeing you or reading your comments next week. Ciao, everyone.